Hi, welcome to Beginning Painting with Shondell Joyce. Today I'm going to work from this reference photo of Harrison Ford. I'm starting off by covering the backside of this photo printed on paper with pastel and then tracing the image onto a canvas. This is one way of getting the image transferred and is a very quick method for beginners. I suggest you practice it until proportion comes natural. My palette is a simple palette today, cadmium red medium, cadmium yellow medium, ultramarine blue, raw umber, and titanium white. These are the three brushes I'm using, and they're very simple. So I'm going to start off by mixing warmer and cooler skin tones and working from dark to light. So the darkest dark would be the pea coat and some of the darks on his skin. So for the pea coat, it's a cooler dark, so I'm using raw umber and ultramarine blue. I block it in with the 1/2 inch flat brush and paint quickly. This is just thick, angular darks, and I want it to be very expressive. I'm going to create a vignette effect at the bottom and just let it focus the attention on the hard edge and lose the bottom edge. Now, the dark behind his ear is a cooler dark. There's a lot of blue in his gray hair, so I'm keeping that cool. Now you can see most of the cool darks in place. I'm going to start adding the warm darks. This is the same color, but with a little cadmium red medium added to warm it up. So the warm darks will be the nostrils, the corners of the mouth, the corners of the eyes, inside the ear. These are the fleshy darks. They're going to contrast and look warmer than the cool dark of the pea coat and the hair. Now with the darkest darks in place, these are my 5s. I'm going to move to the 4 value. 4 is one step lighter. So the 4s are the darks on the hair and the hollows of the cheeks. So the first one is a cooler dark, and that's with ultramarine blue, a little bit of umber, and some water. And this gives me a softer, one step lighter, cool dark. Now for the hollow of the cheek, I test the color on the reference photo before I put it on the canvas. It's a warmer version, same color, so I'm just mixing a little cadmium red medium in with that color and using it to block in where you see the crest shadows on the head. So this is the crest of the nose, the temple, the hollow of the cheeks around the ear. You can see now how the temperature makes a big difference to the shape of the head. So I have both 4 values in place, a warmer and a cooler. Now I want to make the head stand out by darkening what's behind the features in the front and lightening what's behind the head in the back. So I'm mixing all 3 colors together, getting a neutral, and then using a bigger brush, this is a 1-inch flat, to carve out the space around the head. I'm mixing a little bit of white in with the back, the color behind the head, so that the dark of the head really pops. And in the front, the light of the head contrasts nicely with the background. So now we have our middle value. This is the 3 value. We've put in a cooler color for the background. I'm going to mix a warmer color for the skin tone. So this is pretty much the same color with a little more white. I'm testing it on his forehead to see if it works. That's about the middle value. That's about a 3. I'm blocking in. Now it's not the lightest light or the lightest skin tone. It's a middle value. So I'm using it to help shape the head. Put in some planes of color that are different than the darker crest shadows. And I'm leaving some space for the 2. So I'm putting in the 3 value. This is the overall color of the flesh, not in light, not in shadow. You can see a good color temperature difference between the flesh itself and the background. Now, going one step lighter, I'm adding some white and turning that into a 2 value. So this is helping me fill up what's left of the blank canvas. I'm covering all of the planes of the face that are facing forward and parts of the ear. And this is my 2 value. So this is the lightest skin tone before the highlight. Now the 2 on the cool side is the gray of the hair. It's a little bluish, so I'm mixing some blue in with the white, a little bit of umber. Almost always mix 3 colors to get any one color. And I'm applying it a little thicker with a wider brush to create some chunky texture up in the hair. His hair is a little tousled looking and chunky. So that gives it a beautiful texture. So now we have our 2s in place, both the warm and the cool. I'm going around with a brush, just making sure I haven't overpainted any of my darks. I want to keep those darks. Without the dark, you don't have the shape of the head. And then last, I'm moving to the 1s. Now these are the highlights, the lightest light. For the highlight, I'm going to be mixing a little bit of color temperature in with white. So for the cooler, I'm mixing the smallest amount of blue. This is the highlight on the hair. Here's almost pure white, just a tiny touch of blue. And the strokes are more important. I want to have some texture. This is the chunky part of the light on the hair, getting it in place. Now for the warmer, I'm mixing a little yellow. You can see the difference between those 2. This is the highlights on the skin. So where the light is hitting the face, I want to create a highlight that's warmer. So I'm brightening up with light yellow. And that's it. Working from dark to light. There you have it. Join me on Thursday night for live acrylic painting classes on Zoom through my website, shondeljoyce.com. I hope I will see you there.